Thank you for coming through. I guess you have become a good brother to me and a mentor right now.
Thank you.
And so it's really good to be in your cycle.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor because you have a very potent and good channel, what you're doing. So it's an honor to be here, especially in a time where we have a lot of useless content out there. So when you're invited to such a platform, I would never say no.
Thank you very much. I was reading the book that you gave me.
Right.
That was the first signed book that I got. No, the second. The
Right,
first
yes.
one was before your interview with PLO.
Yes.
And I was reading the book, a very powerful book, by the way.
Thank you.
I loved it so much. The content is amazing. And I think the last time we spoke, you're saying that you're going to, do an audiobook for it.
Right.
Some of the audience said they really love your voice.
Thank you very
And
much.
so I think you already have fans waiting for the audiobook.
Absolutely, and we shall work on it.
Yeah.
100%.
But the book is really nice.
Thank you.
Really nice, quoting lots of verses from the Bible, which is really good. And I think helping not only men to understand themselves, but also women to understand men.
Yes, which is very important. Yeah.
And one of the things you spoke about was temptations. You went through a lot yourself.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of young people right now also going through the same things. And so how did you overcome the temptations that you went through that in a way, we could learn from how you did it?
Temptations are there every day. Anybody who tells you they don't go through temptations is a liar. It's how you react to the temptations that makes the difference. There are different ways into how to react. Number one is to run away from the temptation. Number two is to stay prayed up, which is constant. Number three is to have a group of accountability partners. Many people who fall, you'll realize they don't have accountability partners. Accountability partners are the ones who see you going a wrong route and they tell you, hey, come back. And for me, I have accountability partners, some who have gone ahead of me in as far as temptations are concerned. So they can see it from afar. Now, temptations don't just come clear. Some come in a very subtle way. So there are people who have the experience to see how subtle they come and tell you, hey, bro, do not go that direction. And of course, your value system, you just have to have a dogged resolve that this is how I will live my life. You understand? And that's why I tell people you will never avoid temptations. You'll be lying to yourself unless you wake up every day of the year, not leaving your house. And temptations are many. You are tempted to do things, you're tempted to fight somebody, you're tempted to say something wrong. So as an individual, you must have a resolve to say, these are the value system, these are the values that I will run my life with. And you try your best by the grace of God to keep on the straight and narrow based on the parameters of your value system. It has helped me quite a bit.
And so there are times where people are going through temptations and you're
Right.
like, you know what, I want to help them. But then there are times when it's like, you feel like the more you try, the more they're pulling you into what they're going through.
Right. There are people who have made their problems an idol. They love it. They know it's wrong, but they love it. And those are the people you have to be very tough on. And have I given up on some people? The truth of the matter, and I will not lie, I don't want to sound politically correct, that people have said, hey, 1 year later, I'm sorry, may God give you somebody else to help you in this. And that's not necessarily a defeatist approach. That's just understanding somebody else with a different approach needs to help these ones. So they've made an idol into their issue. So they want to get help all the time. They want to ask people for help, as far as help me get out of this. And to get people around you, you have to remain in that quagmire. So it's the need to be in a pity party. Now, such people, we just need to work on their identity for them to understand you don't need people around you in your pity party for you to be a complete human being.
Most of the times they're really narcissistic individuals.
Yes.
And I mean, I think it takes okay, I wouldn't say smart person to figure it out, but you just need to be able to accept the reality for what it is. Like there are people who they genuinely enjoy having the attention of, hey, how can we help you? Hey, we're here for you. But in real sense, they don't want to be helped.
They don't want that help.
They just want to go. It's the attention that they're seeking.
Yes.
And it really sucks because when you talk to people and tell them like, hey, this is the reality, this is what is going on, most of them will say like, you don't want to help the person and see in that light.
I have worked with 1 or 2 people, not many. Maybe of the people who have come to me for help. maybe less than 2%. But trust me, by the time I'm walking away from somebody, I've realized these people don't want to get out of this. Yeah.
And you're really exhausted by
Yes,
that time.
absolutely.
Is it willpower to change that they need, or just the desire to change and be different?
No, you must desire. You must want it. You must be desperate. It is a level of desperation that is good, that makes you get out of that nonsense. You must be so desperate. And let me tell you something. When you see people in a fight and somebody, let me not use human beings. I love watching the animal channels, the hunting lions and the wild dogs and the hyenas. And I watched a video actually yesterday, because I watch even in my car. When I'm sitting in my car, I'm just on I'm sure the guys wonder, what is this guy watching? I'm just on animals. And the zebra had been hunted by the lion. And the lion goes for the neck. I've realized that. But the zebra was so desperate to get out of that lock that when it was brought down, it was kicking and trying to move to destabilize. I'm telling you, 1 in 1,000 zebras would get out of that lock. This one did. Why? Desperation. There was a desire to live. And when you have a desire for something, you'll be desperate to get there. And I tell people, you must have that desperation. You can imagine the jaws of a lion. I mean, they have been made, for lack of a better word, to hunt like that. And I think the lion was in so much shock at the fight that this zebra was giving, and took a pause for a second, and it left. So it may have died the next day, but it survived to live another day.
And I guess it's the same with work, with talent, with skills. I mean, obsession beats talent.
Absolutely.
I mean, if someone is really obsessed, then they constantly want to learn, constantly want to know things. It's the curiosity that we have as children. But then when we grow up, we unfortunately lose it.
Yes.
And then we wonder why we are not masters of our skills or crafts.
Within parameters of reason, there's a level obsession can kill. So you must have the right parameters.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The right obsessions.
Yes. I've seen people being obsessed in doing things, and it is the reason they die. Not physically, but they don't get to the promised land.
But I mean, even physically. I mean, if you're obsessed with alcohol,
absolutely, yes,
it's gonna take you down the grave.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I was watching the documentary of TB Joshua when I was coming this side.
Right.
BBC documentary, 3-part series. Very long, by the way.
Right.
What did you think of it?
I knew that question would come. The TB Joshua documentary has been a trending topic by BBC.
Yeah.
Allow me to say it this way. He's dead. He cannot defend himself. So I'll say on both sides.
Yeah.
I've not seen BBC also having an hour or two for preachers for gospel music. All right. I am not here to judge the story. I'm not going to judge another man's servant. And it's very sensationalized. From where I sit, I'll ask myself one thing. Number one, people kept quiet for 14 years before they spoke. 14 years. Ran to the authorities while the man is still alive. So if he's guilty, then he's brought to book. But I look at it deeper. I'm not here to judge whether he's innocent or not. I look at the bigger picture. Who is being attacked here? It's the reputation of the church.
That is true.
Whether he's true or not. The conversations now, after they have talked about TB Joshua, is that now, you see, these churches are wrong. And sometimes I laugh with pain, if there's anything like that, when I see believers jumping into all these discussions, gossiping and saying, you see, and da-da-da, not realizing they are under attack. The church is under attack. You know what? If you think another man of God or woman of God is fake. Don't waste your time shouting about how fake they are. Teach the people God has brought to you the true gospel, and then they will be able to discern who is right and who is wrong. But we cannot waste time gossiping. We cannot waste time jumping on a bandwagon of people talking about some things that even you go to your church and on your 45-minute sermon, 20 minutes is about the documentary. You see, the devil is winning. It's the church right now. Because the man they're talking about is not here. You can't put him in any court of law. Dead men don't tell tales. So, if this is not true, I feel sorry for those people. It is also a lesson on leaders. If people have been paid to malign somebody's name, as a leader, know who is in your team. Know the people around you. The people who can sell their leaders for 2 pieces of silver. If it's true, let God be the judge. But a man is not, I don't talk about people who cannot defend themselves. But I'm looking at the agenda now. The church is being attacked. The church is being diluted. People are saying, you see, this is how prophets are. This is how pastors are. And the sad thing is that the enemy has brought in the believers to help him in the discussion.
It's really an insane story, whether it's true or not.
Absolutely.
It's an insane story.
I mean, you're right. If it's true, insane. If it's a lie, even worse.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
I think it's not only the church, really, but I think the existence of God and faith in general is under attack.
Absolutely. We have to keep on preaching. We cannot give up. We'll now have to, what I feel in these last days, we no longer need to wait for people to come to church. They're not coming to church. We have to go to the highways and the byways.
And why is that the case? Why is it that right now the whole idea of faith and religion and the existence of God being under attack and, just so many people trying to oppose it right now?
It's biblical timing. We're in the last days. Apostasy is happening. The most elect are being deceived. A lot of things have come. The digital era. There are too many alternatives. A young child growing up right now. When I was growing up, I'm in my 40s. When I was growing up, first and foremost, we only had one TV channel called KBC. And the channel at midnight goes off. We didn't have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and all these things. So we didn't have too many things competing for our attention. Now, right now, there's too many things competing with the attention of people. Wickedness, entertainment. So they're fixing God in a small place. The agenda is, there's some movies now, when the name of God is mentioned, it's blipped. How bad is this?
No kidding.
I'm serious. Because they say it's an offensive word. That's how bad it is. But we should not despair because it's based on biblical times. In the last days, these things will happen. People will be lovers of themselves. That's why social media is there, for us to just showcase who we are. It's about us and it's about us. Half-naked women parading themselves. Men parading. You see grown men going to the bank withdrawing like 1 million shillings and holding it like this on. I mean, that is exciting the flesh.
Lots of it right now.
Absolutely. So there's too much competition for attention. The young ones, older people, young adults. So we just have to go out there and preach the gospel. This is a platform. For me, it's not a secret that I would preach the gospel wherever I go. We'll go to the TVs. I have a radio show. Maybe before that, they were listening to some raga or reggae. Then I have to come with my message. We cannot give up. We'll go wherever we are sent. But the days of waiting for the people in church, my brother, they're gone.
There are times I look at people and I'm like, do we have heads just for decorations or what? Because when we were speaking of TB Joshua, it reminded me of Pastor MacKenzie, right, in Nairobi, in Kenya. And I'm like, even if you are to read the Bible, even if someone is preaching to you, for God's sake, at least use your brain. Because I'm like, how can someone tell you starve yourself to death and then you'll go to heaven? And then you just go like, cool, I'm going to do it. It's so crazy. Because I think it shows the power of the power that people who preach the gospel have.
Absolutely.
Because if you can make someone do such a thing and, well, literally just telling them to kill themselves and they go ahead and do it, I mean, I think that shows the power that such individuals hold.
Yeah. Leadership is powerful. You have a grace when you open your mouth, people eat from the palm of your hands. Somebody telling you to starve to death, that to me is criminal. And you see, now I can talk about that because this man is alive and he's in court. He'll be put into cross-examination. He'll be able to defend himself, and the prosecutors will be able to put their case forward, and the judge will make the judgment. That's why we can, TB Joshua will not talk about. But if somebody convinced people to starve themselves to death, especially you come with your children who are 5, 6 years of age, and if it is true that it is through them that shallow graves were dug to hide evidence, somebody must rot in the coolers. I mean, that is just, if somebody can prove that this ministry was behind this heinous act, the people who should not be walking free. Yeah.
You spoke about social media, and it reminded me of there's a lot going on in Nairobi, in Kenya. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes.
TikTok.
Yes.
What's going on in TikTok?
TikTok has become
In
pornography.
Nairobi, like late at night, it's unbelievable.
TikTok in Nairobi has become pornography. And I just hope that the government can do something about it. Because it is through TikTok that some of these crazy people are luring young girls and young boys into immoral behavior. And that's how some are being murdered. You've had cases of people being murdered and their bodies chopped off. And their heads, somebody has carried the head and gone with the head. These are ritualistic things. I watched again on the same TikTok, I recovered a gang member, 2 or 3 of them, who were taken to a place, they drank blood, and they only had one assignment: go to the clubs, drag the women, go chop off their private parts, bring them to us, it's 70,000 shillings. And then the person says if it's for a big-bodied woman, it's 400,000 shillings. You see, and these people are luring people, and it's something called grooming. I was in the US and we had a parenting seminar, and an IT expert called Mr. Anthony Thuo, call him Thuo, spoke about social media. How crazy people are grooming people on social media. They talk to you, they comment on your post 1, 2 months, then you feel like you know them. And then they say, can we meet? Some have been raped, some have been murdered. I just wish one day you can contact this Anthony Thuo guy, and even, I know we're in Africa, he's in the US, and just have an interview with him. I didn't know about some social media platforms called Whispers. I mean, it's crazy out there. So in Kenya, TikTok has become bad, and it is because also lack of mentorship. Lack of mentorship, because many people who are called mentors are doing the same things. Women dressing half naked. Now, how the young people are picking mentors is based on affluence, not value system. If I was to post me in my Range Rover every day, then I'll be a mentor to many. These women are posting half naked bodies, they are mentors to many because they are exciting the flesh. Not many young people, for example, will sit and listen to this because they want quick things. They want what their eyes can look at and excite, not content. So we need more people just to keep on speaking. And for the few who will listen, we win them over. Then they will go and win the other people.
Because social media is really crazy. And I think if you believe things that you see on social media, you have a problem.
Sadly. But people believe what they see on social media.
Yeah, I mean, people need something to believe in.
Yes.
And, well, what's the easiest way than something on social media?
And that is why some of us keep on churning out content out there. Do live Facebook, live Instagram, do the short videos, because we do believe they'll help somebody out there. If you can help one person, that person may have access to 10 other people that you have no access to.
It's a huge difference.
Yes, sir.
It's really a huge difference. So, isn't the Kenyan government doing anything right now with regards to what's going on TikTok? Because I remember there was a time that I think they wanted to start taxing creators and put in regulations and stuff, but aren't they doing anything right now on?
I mean, if you're earning, you should be taxed. Yes, within parameters of reason. But that's not the solution. The solution is putting laws that ban some things. I mean, let's give an example. If you go to China, there are platforms you cannot access because the government has put the regulations. And I believe that government can put laws where if there's anybody propagating, promoting pornography and immoral behavior, and pornography is not just going on those pornography sites. We know there are over 400 million pages of pornography. But pornography is also indecently exposing yourself on the social media platform, even if it is your platform. Social media is, yes, it's your platform, but other eyes are watching it. All right? You don't know. Some are below the age of 18. So if you indecently expose yourself, if you speak a language in a manner to excite flesh and bring levels of immorality and violence, somebody must be put to book. And I think that somebody should be an example that you did this. You know what? Go to the coolers. 6 months or a deterrent huge fine that people out there must know. It is because of some of these immoral social media platforms we have what we call brain decay that makes my heart bleed. And I said this when we had a discussion. We go on like this. A few years from now, we'll have a country full of zombies. We now have young people always on their phone. So we have tired eyes, but empty brains. So they're watching. When they lift their head to take a break, there's nothing of importance that they have learned because they're seeing this nonsense out there.
And it's insane though, because there are times when I go like, you know what, let me try and go through the news, right? So open Instagram, go through news channels. By the time you are done, literally there are times when I think, okay, what news have I read? And the head is empty. And it's scary as hell.
It is. And that's where we are heading. You know, we haven't woken up to the fact that it is being done in a subtle way. We are being made more stupid with the content.
Mm.
You know, there was a time in an age where not reading, not getting any content would make you empty. We are now at an age you are getting content that is making you emptier. So it's like being taken to the slaughterhouse and you're happy. That's it. By the time we wake up, the gallstone is already on our neck.
I mean, it's really scary. The fact that, you know, because now I'm like, you know, I don't think you can read. Okay, you can. Well, you can read news on Instagram and say, hey, I've read the news. But the question is, what did you understand and what do you remember?
And you see, you can go on Instagram wanting to go on news. And then you start watching your news and something else pops up. That is not what you want.
And you're gone.
And you're gone.
Yeah.
And you're gone. Completely gone. It's as simple as that.
Oh, man, it's scary.
We have been given content to make us stupid and empty. And sadly, the African child is what my heart cries for.
It's too much information such that we cannot process it. And, you know, at least like, I think I read in China, they regulate what people see on TikTok.
Absolutely. I think it's reduced to about 2 hours. And what they have is edutainment.
Yeah, even the 2 hours.
Yes, it's edutainment.
Yeah.
It's edutainment. Here is pornography. How do you have young men, young adults, dressed like women and saying that's entertainment? How would you have young men, and this happened in Kenya, going live on TikTok to perform oral sex on each other?
Wait.
When I was in the US, I was also told there were 15-year-olds.
Wait, live?
Yes.
Wasn't blocked or anything? The account suspended?
And by the time, you know, there's something called screen recording. As you're doing it, people already have it. I was in the US, I received a call that there were 15-year-olds who went quickly live and they were having sex. Brother, where are we heading? No, really, where are we heading? You know why? I want you to study when you go to church. and the kids are bored, what do the parents do? Take the phone.
Give them the phone and they're going to be quiet.
Gone to salons and barbershops for the kid to stay still. They are given an iPad as they are being shaved or their hair is being done. And because the powers that be understand our eyes are on these gadgets, so they're putting all the information on those gadgets. I mean, if you want a kid to be immoral, you don't put it in a high-class movie. Put it in the cartoon. Or daddy and another daddy have a child. You understand what I'm saying? And the kid grows up saying, and that's why when you listen to the Gen Z generation, they're saying, stop judging people. Let them do what makes them feel good. You'll never convince me anybody's born gay. Nobody. It's male and female, period. But there's what we call programming of the minds through social media. Let me tell you, if the powers that be want you to be seen as a presidential material, they will program people to see you as such.
And believe.
And then the day you say you want to run for presidency, they'll be ready for you.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of programming happening.
And I mean, I think the sad part in all of this, obviously, you can't say, we wish all these, applications were created in Africa or by Africans, but still at the same point, I mean, I think it worries me the fact that, none of these big media companies are owned by an African entity or African individuals. Or, I mean, would you say TikTok is owned by China?
TikTok is owned by China.
The government.
I mean, it's a Chinese company. And the Chinese company works under the regulations of the Chinese government. We also, as Africans, we also now need to start owning things that control narratives. Big media houses, institutions of higher learning, of repute and respect. You understand what I'm saying? Not small things. We can't pride ourselves as Africans. The only thing we have is 1 million followers on our social media platforms that we do not even own. With those 10 million followers, and I get annoyed, by the way, when I see people waking up in the morning and putting big flyers. Thank you for my 20,000 followers. It annoys me because those 20,000 followers are the press of a button by the owner of this platform, and you are done. Control the narrative, not play a small part in a big story being controlled by somebody else.
Wait, has there ever been a time where you went through the people you follow and you found individuals that you had not actually followed them?
Absolutely.
Like you don't remember following them, but then it happens you're following them?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I wish we woke up. I really wish we woke up. And when somebody says, I'm big on Facebook, you don't own it. They can decide on Monday, no more Facebook. Will you be big anymore?
It's not even that. The fact that, okay, you have 100 followers, but these are probably people you don't know. Mm-hmm. They don't know you. And even the influence that you think you have isn't really the influence that you have.
There's nothing. Not at all. Some people laugh with you when you're putting on dresses and you come on social media. They don't care about you. They're just looking at how stupid you are. Yeah. And I've seen a lot of men wearing women's clothing. They don't like me because I say this, but I think it's the most stupid thing. It's preposterous. It's wrong by any stretch of the imagination. You can't have men dressing like women. You're also programming our young kids to accept this nonsense when the abnormal is normalized. We're at a bad place.
Why has it been that right now we crave for attention so much such that we're willing to do whatever it takes to get it?
Again, we were programmed, my brother. We were programmed. That's why you have likes, you have comments. It was programmed. You post a photo, people like, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I want to tell you how this has gone. So when you post something, you keep on checking every 2 seconds how many have liked. You want to be accepted. That's attention. I hope one day, I really, really hope one day, that the like button on our social media platforms will be removed.
I don't think they'll ever do that.
And I know they can't because that's how they make their money. But I really wish that like button was removed so that people who give out content are giving it from a place of wanting people to learn, not say, because now we are having people doing silly things so that they get many likes. You're having people almost being naked on social media for the likes. But if they don't now have those likes, they'll have to do the right thing.
I mean, leave apart, the way they dress. I mean, people even endanger their lives.
Yes, I really wish they could remove that like button. I really wish. I know they can't because it's business for them. But even just try it for a week. Then you will know what this was about. They remove the like button. Guess what will happen? Content will reduce. And the ones that will remain are people who really just want to help people out there.
I think right now everything has become content.
Yes.
Literally everything. And I'm thinking, if we didn't have social media right now, how many people would be doing what they're doing? That's
it. I mean, now even walking is content. Do you know that? Did you know that? By the way, do you know walking is content? Walking. Somebody's going to board a plane. That's content.
The way they eat, it's content. And now it's even scary to call yourself a content creator.
Yes. Now even politicians have become content creators. Oh my goodness. May the Lord help us. People are dancing and instead of going to parliament to do what they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
Oh God. At this rate, we'll be taken to people's bedrooms on their honeymoon.
Social media?
Everything is content. It is so sad. And people now want to say things that will excite people that you don't even believe in. You start looking for things in your life that would make people say, oh, you mean you've been through that? So you are revealing some things you're not even supposed to reveal, not because you want to reveal, but you want to churn out content. There's too much competition out there to be accepted, to be loved, to have very many comments and very many likes. It is sad.
The attention.
It is sad. Walking is content.
Leave apart walking. I mean, there are individuals who you'll just be sitting, just chilling outside, and boom, with their phone already recording you.
Yes. Yes.
Probably need to punch one of them on the face.
Yeah, absolutely. And even you chewing your food. How does that help me? No, how does that help me? How does that help me? Showing me how you're putting sugar in your tea. How does that help me? How? My goodness. We're in trouble. We have been programmed. We have become zombies. And that is why we've had cases where Facebook is down. WhatsApp is down. If it had gone longer than it did, more than it did, people would have gone to depression clinics. Because then you feel you have no control. People in houses. You live in a one-bedroom house. You are WhatsApping your wife. Is the food ready? One-bedroom house. People now, families don't eat together because the children are picking their food to go and sit in the room. Why? Because they want to eat as they check what's going on.
And I think that's also one of the reasons why people are depressed. Because I think just by sitting down and eating with your family, eating with other people, that in itself makes a huge difference.
I remember when I was growing up, never forgotten, would sit with my father and my mother on the breakfast table. I remember the days we'd watch wrestling with my father. I've also never forgotten one evening we sat with my mother playing a game called Marobo Tandarobo, throwing stones up and down like this in our compound. Never forgotten. At my age right now, I have never forgotten. I've never forgotten one day we left Sunday service and we were in a Kenya bus and we left church and we went to Wimpy. It was a fast food restaurant and we had lunch and then we went to take photos at the Kenyatta International Conference Center. Those days are gone. Imagine at my age, I remember fondly. Now people remember what somebody posted. People remember what somebody did. People remember the trending topics. People remember the controversies. Who left who dated who is sleeping with who has been fired, when, what, why. And you want us to, in the next 10 years, our children to be captains of industries? You can't sleep with mediocrity from Monday to Friday and expect to churn out wisdom on Saturday. It doesn't work out like that. You take in mediocrity and nonsense Monday to Friday. On Saturday, you'll bring double nonsense out. I just wish many people will do what you're doing. And as a young person, you're doing an amazing job, because many people your age are doing things that would excite the flesh. So you can't stop, my brother. You can't. Because the only thing we have is not cars. The best thing we can leave for people is what we are saying. Because there will be a time, this video will be here, but I will not be here. And there'll be somebody 50 years from today, 30 years from today, who will watch this video and say, my goodness. And even if I'm here, and I will be here anyway 30 years from now, but I'll be much older. I may not have the strength to sit with you for 1 hour. But somebody will say, wow, I watched that video. We still get wisdom from Dr. Miles Monroe. And he has gone yonder. You understand? If you buy a man a book, you have one book of $10 is worth more than spending $1,000 on clothes.
I mean, I usually tell people the best gift you can buy me is books.
Absolutely. You've come to my office.
Yeah.
I'm surrounded by books. You understand what I'm saying? Because when you are, and I want to speak to content creators, if you allow me. When you turn 70, right now you're dancing naked. And they show you grandchildren, or great-grandchildren. Look at grandma. Look at granddad. You are there as a man wearing makeup, twerking. At 70, will you be able to look at that with pride? Absolutely not. No. Absolutely not. So we need to do something. We need to do something. I don't know how. Okay, I know how. We really need to just keep on speaking and keep on talking to the right people. We are not many, but we have to.
Yeah, I mean, if they listen, right? When they decide to listen.
Two things happen. They always listen, but on different occasions. One listens to change and say, I thank God I listened. Another one listens when they've been damaged and they say, I wish I listened. So they'll always listen. The difference is, I thank God I listened. The other one is, I wish I listened. But listening the will. Listening the will. Trust me.
And right now there's just so much pressure on people because of social media. Like, especially like for young men.
Right.
Like, you are young and then you see someone saying they traded on Forex and they're buying all these fancy cars and fancy houses, and you're just graduating from college and now you're like, why am I behind? Why is my life falling apart? And in real sense, it's like life is fascinating.
I know most of them is not true.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously, social media, right? So,
and it is sad, my brother, because it's making people think of shortcuts.
Yeah.
That's why it's painful to say this. Our young girls are being lured to their death because people have understood the need to make it in a microwave time frame. So gone are the days where you want to develop yourself and grow with the process of time as ordained of the Lord. Even we are here because of the first trimester, second trimester, and third trimester, and then the water broke, and the amniotic fluid has no business but to release you out of the world. God has taught us the process of time. Is it the amniotic fluid? Yes, that carries us. Yes, whatever. I think I got it right. If I didn't, you change and apologize on the comment section. But it's easy to lure the young people, boys and girls, with promises of affluence and shortcuts. And sadly, some have been lured by promises of affluence. And when they got in there because of that, they get out in body bags. I'm pained and I feel sorry for the family that lost their 20-year-old daughter. And then again, social media. And I have to accept, I have to be honest, I saw the photos. It was posted in a group. And I opened and I'm like, the photo showed the woman's both feet out, the head out, everything separately. Now watch this. That girl's father, mother, family saw that. And they know it's all over the social media. It will take years for them to reconcile on how painful this girl met her death. And people are without shame posting it all over. The need to be the first one to break the news. Not considering whatsoever what this family is going through. That's why when you see in the Western world, when a family has lost a loved one, they ask for privacy. People think it's just a statement. It's a very, very deep statement, asking for privacy. You understand? Asking for privacy. So, it's painful. When I saw these photos, it's again social media pressure. I want to be the first one to post. I want to be the first one to break the news. Have you seen this? I got it. And then people say, when somebody even says, I have the video, please send it, send it. Why don't you ask for videos that will teach you, give you wisdom, make you a better person? Why do you just want to see a video of who was sleeping with who and their video leaked? Why do you want to see a video of somebody's body that has been chopped off like meat in a butchery? Why is that exciting people? We have been programmed. And somehow somebody has to stop it or slow it down. We have been programmed. I say this even in worship services and experiences. There are more phones lifted than hands to God. I was there. And that's why I respect this lady called Dr. Sarah Kay, and I want you to tell your followers to follow her. Even in her meetings, they don't allow people to lift their phones. They have their camera crew to record the things for the people to watch out there. And that's why I believe God is lifting Dr. Sarah Kay, because she understands what is important. And I wish many would understand that. Yeah. Now we have become drama kings and drama queens. My goodness. Oh, Jesus. It is so bad that now even in churches we are doing all this drama. So people are following the best edited videos but not following Jesus. So the most important thing in some departments in churches is now the media department and not the intercessory department.
We are so screwed up.
We are.
Oh my goodness, yes.
We are.
And there are times that that you're in a deep hole, and you just can't think of a way to get out. I mean, there are times you want to get out, but then you still find yourself in the same deep hole.
Yes.
And so now imagining it. How about the people who don't even know that in the first place?
Absolutely. There's a neck, a rope on our neck with our tongue hanging out, and you're just being brought in. And we're happily coming with saliva dripping from our mouths, and we're just coming in. By the time you're realizing we have all been in a place and we have been locked there, and it's too late and nothing else can happen. Yeah.
It is really scary. I mean, social media, there are goods to it, but when you think of the side effects of it, it's just insane.
Yes. And I'm not saying social media is bad. It's how you use it and how you react to it that makes the difference. Social media has been used. I mean, we'll be on social media platforms, this interview. It's how you use it, how you react to it, and how far you allow it to enter into your system based on the content that is churned out there.
But I think the insane part is that most of it is subconscious. You don't even know it's happening to you, but it's happening to you. So meaning that even the content that you're consuming, it starts slowly and then changes all of a sudden, and then you just keep consuming that. You don't see the changes happening, and you don't even see how it's affecting you. And so at the end of the day, you are really in a bad shape, and you can hardly tell it.
It's subconscious, but at some point you knew it, and then you tolerated it.
One of the things that I'm hearing a lot right now from my friends who are about to graduate from college is the fear of what happens next.
Yes.
It's like the uncertainty and not knowing what is going to happen next and having to figure it out. And I think it's also the first time that you're really out on the world on your own, right? Because with school, after grade 1 you go to grade 2, 3, 4, 5, it's all set up for you, it's all planned. But then the moment you graduate, it's the fear of what am I going to do with my life, what's next? How do you deal with that?
And that fear is because you're not prepared for it. If all you're consuming is immoral things and crazy things. And let me say this clear. Entertainment is important. I also take some time and just laugh on TikTok and watch dancing and all that. But I'm very careful not to let it consume most of my time. But if you prepare for something, you'll not be fearful. If you take time to go on social media and listen to people who have gone before you, this is what you do, and this is what you do. When you leave school, as you're waiting for your results, build yourself. Personal development. You see, as I'm speaking to them, personal development. Check your social circles. I'm telling them right now. Somebody's listening to this now, but another one is watching some immoral video. And then check your social circles. You must have somebody, number 1, who has been ahead of you. Number 2, you must have somebody who is with you. That is a comrade. The one who has been ahead of you is your mentor. Then have somebody following you is your mentee. Now, the one who is ahead of you, listen to me, is challenging you to get to where they are. The one who is with you on your level is now inspiring you not to remain behind. Like, let's keep on going. And the one who is watching you is the one who is making sure you stay on the straight and narrow, because there's somebody else depending on you to win. Now, if you have those people, you're safe. But now after school or college, most of them just want to have people who are on the same level. They go dancing, smoking shisha, sleeping around. And then when you get to a roadblock, you don't know what to do. But the person who is ahead of you will tell you, in 10 kilometers, there's a roadblock. Make sure you slow down, turn right, maneuver, and keep on moving. But when you all get to the roadblock at the same time, you have never been there before, what happens? You start looking at each other like fools, and then you decide, since you've never been here, let's go back to where we know. Let's go back to the clubs. Let's go. And that's why we still have 50-year-old men going to nightclubs. That's why we have 55-year-old men still going to look for 20-year-old girls in nightclubs. That is why we have 50-year-old men, 50-year-old women looking for gossip. Because they got to a place they didn't know how to maneuver. You understand what I'm saying? But somebody will tell you, hey, don't worry. Your breakthrough is on the other side of this roadblock. So just do this. Lift your right leg up. Don't look behind and jump over. And then you enter into your next level. Now, people are scared because they have not prepared for it. A woman who is expectant does not go shopping on the day she gives birth. Rooms have been painted. Beds have been bought. Clothes have been bought. And the price comes. And that's why there's what we call Lamaze classes. There's what we call talking to your aunties who had been there before. Talking to your mother, going on social media and understanding these things. You understand what I'm saying? So if you are totally scared, ask yourself, what have you not done? And you'll realize 9 times out of 10 is because you did not have the right information to get out there.
Love is not enough reason to marry.
Love is never the reason to marry.
How do you define love? I mean, how do you explain that?
If you marry because of love, my goodness, you will leave each other as quick as you went in. Love is a byproduct of a marriage based on purpose. You talk to couples right now, they will tell you they don't feel like they love each other every day. You will talk to people, they will tell you, I feel like I love my colleague. But then why don't you go and marry your colleague? Oh, he's also married to somebody else. So why don't you leave the others because you don't love them anymore and come together because you love one another? No. Love is a byproduct of two people coming together in purpose. The Bible says, I will give you a partner suitable to yourself. You understand? When Adam says, this is the bone of my bone and the flesh of my flesh, with the bone, it's an inside thing. Fast. Listen, God did not bring Eve and Adam says, wow, beautiful woman. No, the man had to go into deep sleep for an inside thing, which is the rib, to be removed. So it starts on the inside, not the hips, lips, and fingertips. Those hips are lust and flesh. And by the way, you married her when she was hippie. Those hips now, after some time, start looking like a cow without a centerboard. But you're still together because purpose has brought you together. Friendship. And after that, you just love being with each other. Purpose is the number one thing. I used to believe many years it's love that brings you together. But a wise man changes his mind. I don't believe in that anymore.
There's a book, I don't know if you have seen it. It's called The Road Less Traveled.
No, I haven't.
It's a book that explores the whole idea of, love, dependency,
Right.
falling in love, and the myth of love. And it's work.
And this falling in love, what were you doing then you fell? Did you trip? Always ask that question. Yeah? Those days of, I can't sleep. Good night. Okay, you good night. You hang up fast. Oh, no, just hang up. Oh, absolute crap and nonsense. Those just lasts for a few minutes. There's a greater purpose.
Okay, so then, most young people are like, you know what, I love this person and, we are planning on getting married and stuff. What are some of the things that they should start asking themselves, asking their partner before they even consider the whole idea of getting married?
Number one, as a lady, you have to ask, is this man in his place of purpose? Because the man must have the garden, because Eve was brought to help Adam till the garden. Has he understood his mandate? If no, then what are you going to help him do? Help him become more useless? Is he moving towards somewhere? Then I'll be, to help, the word helping is to assist somebody to do that which they're already doing. Let me help you carry that log because you started it. So I'm going to add in my strength to help you carry. But also, please, people say, yes, you marry one person, but you have to know the family you're marrying into.
And I think that is why we understand. I think if you think of it that way, you can understand the whole idea of why African parents used to help their kids find.
You must understand. You must understand. And then remember, you're not marrying a perfect person. Can you handle the imperfections, the things that are annoying you? Can you handle? Then you also must have what we call the deal breakers.
Yeah.
You see, I say, no, me, I'll never marry a woman who smokes. I'll never marry a woman who doesn't believe in God. You have to understand your deal breakers.
Yeah.
And then just know there's no perfect person. Can you handle their imperfections? You look at the balance. Yeah.
And I'm telling you, this might sound like a new idea to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And because there are times, you can make a lot of mistakes, but marriage,
you can't get it wrong, man. Yeah. Divorce is like a death. I have been through divorce. It's like a death. So enter with your eyes wide open.
And there are times people say, people like pretending, and they can pretend until you marry them. And then
that's where you need God.
Boom.
You discern. There are people who have had successful marriages. And yet people told them, what are you seeing in that person?
Yeah.
Somebody saw something much deeper. They looked out on the flesh. I saw something deeper. Yeah.
Oh, man. There are times when I think of marriage, it really scares the hell out of me.
And it should. It's not, when you're joining couples, says it's not something that you enter into lightly. We say that, yeah.
Because you can see, families that have been broken into pieces simply because of the whole idea of, people falling out of love. If such a thing exists. It does actually.
Yeah.
They fall out of love and they're not ready to work on their relationship. And then you see families that have become really successful simply because of getting it right.
Purpose. A car has, let's look at 4 active wheels. All right? The purpose of the wheels is to make the car keep on moving. Right?
Yeah.
But it is not what makes the car move. When you get a puncture, you don't get annoyed because this tire got a puncture. Of course, you'll be disappointed, but you don't throw it away and say, let me enter the car and move. Because then the car will not move. But because the purpose of the tire is to balance the car and to move, you will fix it and bring it back. Most marriages happen like this. You remove the tire because of a puncture and you put a spanner in to replace the tire and you expect the car to move. Every time you understand purpose, when things go a bit haywire, you will still fix it and move forward. But if you bought a tire based on the brand only, it means you can change the brand to another one. You buy the tire based on its purpose of allowing and making the car move. But a brand, you can have alloy rims, you can have, what do you call it? You can have 15-inch or whatever, low profile. You can change as you wish. But if you buy it for the purpose of the car moving, you'll make sure it does what it's supposed to do.
Just quickly, how do you find your purpose?
How do you find your purpose? Number one, what keeps you awake at night? Rightly. What are the things that you know you can do for free? You don't like seeing orphans hungry. You don't like seeing widows suffering. You don't like seeing mediocrity. What is that thing that keeps you awake at night in as far as being a solution provider? Some people are kept awake by drugs, women, men, and I'm not talking about that. Things that will push you into being a solution provider to the problems of the world. That is where your purpose is. Another way to know is where the devil hits you most is where God has graced you.
I mean, because words such as purpose, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I know some of my colleagues who, we went to primary school together, secondary school together. It's a new word to them.
And
like
purpose
they've
is
never
not your
thought
job.
of them.
No. That's how we live. Purpose is never your job. You're not born to be a banker. No. You are a banker to fulfill purpose in that place and that season while you're working at that bank. Yeah. I believe I am, even as a preacher, I'm a preacher of hope. When I speak to people, it's to give hope. Pathfinder. I am a hope preacher. I love inspiring. I love leaving people feeling better about themselves. And I can do it by buying them alcohol. That's not purpose. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why when I look at my life, I went through battles. I went through seasons. I made mistakes that required somebody to come and tell me tomorrow will be a better day and show me how. So the devil attacked me and attacked my voice, knowing my voice is a voice of hope.
And it's one of the best things you can give someone. I mean, because there are times you're following your purpose and, oh man, it gets dark.
Absolutely.
It gets cold.
By the way, purpose. One of the addresses of purpose is pain and darkness. Let's look at Jesus. Let's look at Jesus. His purpose was realized through pain at the cross. His purpose wasn't really mainly giving parables. No. But he came to do the Father's will, which is to reconcile us back to Jesus. The reconciliation of mankind to God was not in the parables, was not in the weeping of the people in church, but was in the shed blood on the cross that we received our victory. And as well as purpose gives you pain and darkness, purpose gets you out of that pain and darkness. It is purpose that he conquered the grave.
It's the guiding star.
That's it.
Why do you think your purpose is giving hope to people?
Because the devil attacked me and I felt useless for some time. And I feel good when I give hope. I can wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I receive a call, I'll give hope. I'll be told, come and inspire people. You know, I don't like, and by the way, let me say this public, I am not a motivational speaker. Whoever gave me that title did me so much harm. You know, I'm a preacher, but I'm also an inspirational speaker. To inspire people, to motivate somebody, by the way. I can motivate you between 10 and 11. At 11:03, you're as useless as a dodo. But I inspire you to take the baton and move to the next level of your life. Motivational speakers, you'll require them on a weekly basis. Because they have to come and inject you all the time. I think that's a big lie. That's a big lie. And everybody now calls themselves a coach. Let me tell you. Hear me. Coach is not necessarily because you went to school. Some people have gone to school and have had the certification, but they don't have the grace to coach people and take them to the next level of their life. Some have not been, but the grace is upon them. Go to school and you have the grace, even better, in a larger way. Yeah. Purpose cannot be reduced or boxed in to a thing called career. No. Career is too small compared to purpose. Purpose is the whole reason you're born. And by the way, forget about anything I say. I may have said many things, but when it comes to purpose, go to the person who gave you the manual. It's Jesus. Your purpose can never be found because your mentor does this. No. Your mentor is just used in a season of your life to help you confirm something about your purpose. But purpose is from Jesus, from God.
It's a gift.
Yes.
Not everyone share the same purpose.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, I really appreciate the work that you're doing, because I'm not even going to lie. I mean, you know, there are times where, even in school, you know, you study late at night and, you know, preparing for the exams, and it reaches a point where you're just like, you're in the abyss and you just don't want to do it anymore, right? And then there are times where we have to listen to people like you to get up and keep studying, because it usually gets cold, dark, and you feel alone.
Absolutely.
And there are times where you need people to inspire you, to remind you why you're doing it in the first place, and help you figure out your purpose.
Absolutely.
And it's a very important thing. And I think you need to do more of talking about purpose, right? And help people understand it, because if there's one thing that someone can feel blessed to figure it out, is their purpose.
Where they were born.
Yeah.
My team and I are working on that. But also listen to a lot of Dr. Miles Monroe. Yeah. You
spoke about, you know, recording the videos that you're doing right now. And I remember before I came, I watched his interview with Churchill, and I was like, this is good. Like, we need more of this. And so I think if there's one thing that you need to do is record as many videos as you can.
I will.
Such that when people want to listen to you, even if you're gone or after you're gone, then they'll be proud of the work that you did, and they wouldn't feel like he should have done more.
Right.
Yeah.
We shall keep on churning out, because one time we'll have gone yonder. We shall not be here to sit and record. But you know what? These videos will forever be here. Yeah.
Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thank you.